I remember I was in a meeting once very early on in one of my roles, and the CEO said, "Who gets fired if this doesn't work?" And literally everyone was like, "Well, I don't want to get fired." And I was like, I'm okay. I'll get fired if this doesn't work, but I really believe in this. And I mean, at the end of the day, they weren't going to fire me. They might not have given me my raise, but I kind of was hoping they weren't going to fire me, but we then got really successful. We had a lot of success with it. And so no one got fired, but I think you have to be willing to fail, even if it means being fired, and really take those convictions to the next level. So, but really, my biggest mistakes is being married to something for too long, and even in investment, probably not writing off an investment sooner rather than later. That's been a hard lesson to learn.
But how did you move from being employed to actually having your own company, then investing? What was the transition there? Because one thing is to be backed by a company and be entrepreneur. The second thing is then going solo or with your team and be entrepreneur afterwards.
So, look, I mean, I think that being in companies really served me well. I was able to build a lot of confidence. I really loved working with big teams. I always say, the one thing I miss the most is free cash flow. I love free cash flow. It just makes you're able to just do so much. You can go buy things, you can have this different conversations. And so I miss that, and that's the beauty of working in big organizations and big companies with multiple revenue lines. So how that happened, I was at Sesame, and my role Sesame sort of led me to MultiChoice. I actually was pitching MultiChoice for a partnership, and so that led to them just recruiting me to say, actually, we want to be bigger in Africa. And my boss at the time secretly, timidly asking, "So would you move to the continent to do this work you want to do for Sesame?" And I was like, "Oh yes, in a heartbeat." And then she was like, "Oh, maybe we could talk." And so that sort of began my conversation with MultiChoice. And so we really had a lot of conversations about where should I be based. And I really felt like I wanted to be, if I was going to be on the continent, I wanted to be in Nigeria. And I love the work we were doing at MultiChoice. We were able to do quite a number of things. And launch big projects, big names, big platforms. And from there, I got headhunted to come and look at digital platforms for a telco. And one of the things at that time was that telecommunication companies were in this process of transitioning and transforming to be media companies. And so, because I had the e-commerce experience in the US, and also had the media, I was headhunted to come and sort of look at how to do digital platforms for a telco. And so we were working on that, and we launched a couple of products. Unfortunately, I had to step back just for personal reasons at the time. And so when I stepped back, I was like, they were like, "Oh, we still want you to be consulting." So I was like, "Okay, I'll launch a consulting sort of business so that I can consult, and you would basically be my only client. And I'll probably come back after sort of taking care of this personal stuff." And as soon as we started, we then got a couple of contracts. We got some people wanted us to, they commissioned us to do some studies on the media space on the continent. We got commissioned to do the digital transition that was happening on the continent. And so literally we were busier than we ever thought we would be our first year of business.
I love that you started. I just want to do a consultancy so I can deal with my personal stuff, and then you just keep going, like opportunities show up, and before you know it, you have a venture capital firm.
The reward for work is more work. And so in the sense of like, let's take a sabbatical, I ended up creating a whole lot of work for myself.